talk about how she's going to help revitalize Natarita, Colorado.
Thank you so much. We're so grateful to be here. My name's Natalie Binder. I'm the co-creator of CampV, and I'm here with my partner Jody Wright from Telluride. So thanks again. Okay, can Colorado save America? So I saw this headline in the New York Times, and living in Colorado, it caught my attention. And then I noticed that the piece that was featured, or the picture, was in Natarita, Colorado, which happened to be the same town where I'd recently just purchased 120 acres. There's 14 historic cabins that were built by the Vanadium Corporation in the 1940s, had a water system and senior water rights. And so one of the inspiring moments for me to purchase this property was, if you're familiar with Mountain Film and Telluride, they released this film called Uranium Drive-In, and it was really about, well, first it was about the Paradox Mill, but then it really turned into the conversation of, you know, how do we deal with these former mining towns where this resurgence just not coming back? And so, if you're not familiar with where it's located, that's okay. It happens to be southwest Colorado, and you can see this picture of the Paradox Valley, which is just on the other side of it. But, you know, more importantly, we're an hour from Telluride and just an hour and a half from Moab. And for those of you that have been to Moab recently, I think that you've noticed the crowds, you know, that are there, and it's just turned into a little bit of a zoo. And so, you know, we intend to capture this high dollar traffic that is traveling between these two very established destinations in a place that really has untapped trails and San Miguel River, so there's all sorts of outdoor opportunity there. And so I then started noticing more articles that appeared in The Guardian and the Wall Street Journal, and they all mentioned this same community. And one of the reasons why, so then I thought to myself, well, why do people care so much about this community? And so I know why I care. I happen to have a family that's actually from Natarita. And so one of their businesses was Binders Texaco, and that's the picture that's depicted here. And so my family has these fond memories of this bustling mining community where there was opportunity and there was activity. And oddly enough, at the same time, the Vanadium Corporation was closing down and moving out of town, which is when my family left, there was another former ski town just an hour away in Telluride that was closing down, and there was a new group that showed up with skis ready to reinvent their economy. Others care because 60 million Americans live in rural America, and they face the same challenges as Natarita. We have a loss or decline in jobs that were based in the extraction industry, and there's other major social issues and gaps in education. I believe that journalists are looking to Colorado to see how we solve our rural issues, because even though we live in a very rural state, we happen to have some very rich economies due to the ski and outdoor industry. And I believe Colorado is poised to be a leader in rural economic development as we leverage our history, our storytelling, our outdoor recreation, but more important, our innovation. And so we want to be a part of this future innovation. And so CampV is born, and we have an opportunity to create an experience, transform this rural community and others, and redefine the traditional camp experience through unique design, experimental architecture, storytelling, art, music. We'd like to pioneer this new path. And so you can kind of see that the property is broken out into 3 areas. Down on the riverfront parcel with the pond, we'll have river activities and camping, stand-up paddle boarding, fly fishing. The cabins are in the middle, the historic cabins, so we'll rehab the cabins. There'll be glamping tents, and then up on the upper part of the parcel, we'll have Friday night bonfires, movie nights, and it actually has these awesome views of both the Paradox Valley and Telluride to the other side. One of the benefits to these areas that are in, economic decline is that actually they don't limit what you can do from a design perspective. So coming from Telluride, it's very refreshing to work with Montrose County and be given a lot of leverage as to what they're going to allow us to do and create. And so we see this as a real opportunity to create a project that's rooted in authenticity and free expression. And there's no other glamping projects like CampV. I've been to many of these projects. I've traveled to most of them, and it's really more than just a place to stay. It's a place to inspire both the creators and the guests. So we intend to build this boutique camp, starting off with the rehab of cabins. And one of the funny things about the cabins was that they were originally built for the engineers who worked in the uranium mill. And so it was called Snob Hill, and it's still called Snob Hill today. And like I'll see it on like my water bill. They're like, oh, Snob Hill. So it's kind of a funny story. And so we'll rehab these, give them a new life. I actually have tenants in there right now, so they were built very well. They're still standing. We'll have fully furnished onion tents, spaces for van life. We have a vintage bus that came with the property. We're going to rehab that and turn that into the lounge. We'll have Airstreams. And then we'll create some other really fun spaces out of some of the recycled materials that came on the property. So this is an old water tank. It's going to become our iconic signage. We'll have a neon art installation on this. You can see it as you're driving in from both Paradox and Telluride. And so we're going to take some other materials like this and create some really fun, unique spaces for people to explore on the property. So imagine a place to stay where every component will have a story, and where people can come together at the end of the day. They can discuss their adventure in the area, or they can talk about how we save these rural places by staying at places like CampV and redefining the experience of these communities. We'll create headlines similar to projects that are happening, in Marfa, Texas, that art community, El Cosmico. And there's a new one, Hotel Luna Mystica in Taos. And there's a huge collaborative effort going on with these projects, and they found that there are people searching for these places to stay, and so there's a great referral network there, and there's a lot of innovators in this space. So we're raising $1.9 million for the site infrastructure to rehab the existing water system, operating capital. So our nightly rates for the Airstreams and the tents are around $165 to $300 a night, and $45 a night for the car camping. We have received commercial entitlements from Montrose County, which was an awesome process, and so we're approved commercially. We've already started doing dirt work down on the lower parcel, and once we've raised the necessary funds, we're ready to go. And we're going to tap into the 77 million households that are camping. It's up 6 million since 2014. And with the rise of experiential hubs and social media, it's actually never been easier to find and book a place like CampV. And these channels are looking for content, and so we're going to provide some really beautiful content and images. But more importantly, there's no one that has a team like ours that's doing that in this space. Jody Wright founded One Architects with her husband. They're the leading architecture firm in Telluride. They started in 1997. They've done over 70 projects in Telluride in the area. I've been fortunate to have a 19-year career in luxury hospitality. I started at Caesars in Telluride. I've had a great career with a luxury vacation rental company and a hotel development. And we have also Don and Wally from the Bay Area who's helping us with our real estate capitalization. And so down the road, back in Moab, they're hosting 3 million tourists a year, and their county is making $5 million in leisure and hospitality tax. And so we just need to tap into a small fraction of those crowds that are looking for a different experience. So the unlikely hero for this community is arts, it's mountain bikers, it's travelers, and it's you. You can become a part of our community by supporting the project, spreading the word, or going to our website, campv.com, and joining our list. And while I'm unsure if Colorado can save America, I do know that we can start saving places like the west end of Colorado, and I'd be super grateful for your support. So, thank you.
All right, just Matt, any questions? Right there.
We would love to expand it out of Natarita, and originally when we started this, it was very much a passion project of something we wanted to do close to home. Obviously, it's very near and dear to me. But then as we started embarking on this journey, we realized that there is such an opportunity in a space to duplicate this in other communities. And yeah, we'd absolutely like to build that. We want to be kind of like the cool KOA.
Right?
Can you, the 1.9 million, that's for, what was the use of proceeds on that, and how much of that meets your opportunity zone, like improvements, substantial improvements metric? Does it clear that?
Yeah, from an OZ perspective, right, yeah, we can certainly talk offline about all of that, but I mean, to speak right, that's partly because of the infrastructure, right? Rehabbing those 14 cabins, putting in a new water system. There's some major infrastructural pieces, all of which would count, right, from an OZ perspective. Is, you know, so in terms of qualifying, there's no question there.
Okay.
And the other thing I wanted to throw out, I really wanted to, like, wait, say, you guys, I've been on the property. There is nothing up here that gives you any clue as to the scale of, you know, this 120 plus acres where the river runs through it, and that water tower is like, you know, taller than this ceiling. Like everything out there is just, it's vast, and you know, creates an incredible opportunity to, you know, to create, right? So yeah, so there's a lot of opportunity to go beyond, and the OZ is definitely not a problem. Yeah, that's, you can fit 30 people in.
Just to clarify, did you say it was on the San Miguel River?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you envision, I mean, is this a year-round all weather?
Yeah, obviously with the cabins, you know, and actually the one thing I didn't mention was there is a local hotel in Natarita. It's, you know, very basic. And they're actually at 100% occupancy in the summertime. Again, because of all that traffic that's coming through, but it's really not like anyway, it's not a product for everybody. And we also have a huge hunting season. It's located next to Unit 61, which is one of the prime elk hunting units in the state of Colorado. So obviously the cabins will be able to be year-round from that perspective, and then with the tents, it does get chilly in the winter. However, actually I just had some panels shipped here. I'm going to pick them up, and they're insulated panels for the tent. I'm going somewhere very warm next week, and I'm going to try them there with an air conditioner. So it's kind of the opposite, but it would do the same thing. So we'll see, and if they can hold the heat, then yeah, we'll keep those up year round.
Since you were in the hospitality industry, you know that there's always these cycles that go on during the course of the year. I'd be curious to know if you're one summer, you're going down the road with this one summer, and all of a sudden there's just this huge influx of, you know, tripped out bands that want to start camping there. How do you regulate
Repeat that question.
No, that'd be great. I mean, he's basically asking, yeah, from like a yield management perspective, right? So you start suddenly getting an influx in occupancy or vans that are coming through. How do you manage that? And so, yeah, I have a lot of experience with yield management. Obviously, Caesars probably does it better than anyone. This is a much smaller scale. But yeah, you absolutely raise your rates as you're getting to those last couple rooms. But then if they haven't sold by that night, then you know you bring them back down. But yeah, we'll absolutely be implementing those kind of strategies for yield management. Good question.
And one more? I see him. No, we're good. I'll stop.
Thank you so much.
Okay.